Welcome to Rinkside. This is episode number 5. I'm Pawtai, and that's
Chewie.
here for a fantastic episode. We've got a sick lineup for you, talking about standings, leaderboards, team of the week, plays of the week, and a special interview with Joey Raab himself. Chewie, what's on your mind today?
I'm still recovering. Last week we all saw that I was struggling a little bit. Hasn't gotten much better. This week's been brutal. And unfortunately now my wife and kid have gotten whatever sickness I have. But we're plugging along. It's a good day nonetheless. How's your week been, Potty?
It's been good. Started a new job. Moved into a new condo. Got a new Xbox, new
Oh wow.
TV. New webcam, new everything over here in Chicago. So I'm doing pretty good.
Big changes. You're a new Potty this episode.
Yeah, and yeah, no mustache this time either.
Oh, I think the fans loved it. It's too bad it's gone today. Just want to
Um,
do a quick shout out. Thank you everyone again for subscribing. We're sitting at 73 at the start of this video. The goal is to get to 100 by the off season so we can get that Rinkside YouTube URL. There is going to be another giveaway this off season to promote our Discord, our Twitter, and our YouTube channel, of course. And I will leak it right now. It will be a full season's worth of Twitch points. So that's 3 sets of Twitch bonuses for the season for you or any player of your choosing. So we'll do that giveaway video soon. So stay tuned.
and start standing up our leaderboards because we have some, pretty big call outs to bring to you. Why don't you kick us off with how our pros are doing?
Yeah, so pros this week, Dublin came back on top. We're on a 10-game win streak, so I'm super happy about that. Jacksonville still right behind with Florida. They struggled a little bit, especially with Florida. They did lose to San Diego, which was, I'd say, probably the biggest upset of last week, the
Oh,
biggest
wow.
shocker for sure. Uh, Alaska, they lost their last game of the week as well, so they're a little bit behind. But this week's list of clinched teams extends to Redwater. So now the top 7 teams on that list, Dublin, Jacksonville, Florida, Alaska, Turku, Vegas, and Redwater, have all clinched the playoffs. And the bottom five, 5 teams, 6 teams have been eliminated. Norfolk, Tennessee, Cleveland, Melbourne, Boston, and San Diego. And Albuquerque, Glasgow, and Florence are all fighting for that last spot in the pros. Uh, Albuquerque has a 2 point lead on Glasgow. Glasgow has a 2 point lead on Florence. I mean, there's still 4 games left. It can go either way. All of them are on losing streaks, which is interesting. If Glasgow can turn
Mm.
it around and Albuquerque can't pick it back up, I mean, you could see Glasgow making their first playoff appearance this year with their new owner, Triple H.
Ooh. So big week ahead of us.
Yeah, it's I mean it's still tight for those teams for sure. Next we'll move on to the stats we're looking at this week, which is an interesting one. It's the points per 60. So if you want to take it from here, Potty.
Yeah, points per 60, thinking about time effectiveness when you are on the ice. How do you make the most of those minutes? And at the top, we've got Leathers coming in with 3.04. If he had a point 0.1, he would be at pi, which, he's bringing home a slice today for taking home the first place title. Next, we've got our special guest, Joey Raab, on the board, followed closely by Bear, and you can read the rest, of course, Krieg, and some other Scurvy Dog, some friends of the podcast, and of course, Amelia Rose holding in at the 10th spot. So I think these are, pretty impressive. Why don't we check out how our minors or the rookies are doing?
Yeah, so here's the rookies points per 60 if you want to keep going with it. you're on a roll here.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can see that there's a bit of a fall off here. We're into the 1.7 is bringing us forward with Colin Fiol. I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced. And we've got, of course, Liam Cody there. I think I mentioned him in the past at some point. And then Rice Cake, one of our junior rising stars on Dublin, coming in with that 1.62. Also, got a shout out to Not Satisfied over there for leading. I think he was one of the leaders on our last episodes in penalty minutes. And he's coming in with, points per 60, hovering just around 1.5. So, pretty good utility of these players, demonstrating their finesse on the ice and their fortitude to stack points for the limited time that they have available.
Yeah, it's awesome to see some expansion teams up there. One thing, it's always tough for expansion teams to be on the points list just because they may not put up as much to start out. But again, the nice thing about the points per 60 is time effectiveness. So you have two Melbourne players who are putting up the points with the time that they have on the ice, which is awesome to see. And as well as Laird Olaf from Boston. Next, we'll go over to the minor standings. A little bit of technical difficulties there. We still got Warsaw at the top of the league. Actually, they took over Vancouver, sitting at 39 points, run by your very
Chewie,
own Potty. Oh,
it
that's
looks like
very
we
outdated.
actually have some outdated
Yeah.
stats.
What the
So
hell?
these were, hey, maybe we can leave these up here for right now. But in reality, Warsaw has succumbed to Vancouver, and it looks like Discord is overplaying on my video. So if the
Oh,
viewers can squint in real closely, you might be able to see. But it's all good. I think that the big takeaway is that nobody has clenched a playoff berth in the minors just yet. So the next week is going to be a very, very big one for every single team involved.
yeah. Thanks, and sorry about the technical difficulties there. I'll have to yell at myself after that one. Well, we'll move over to the team of the week if you want to take it from here.
Yeah, so great representation by Dublin on the team of the week. We've got Bear, Leathers, Hart, Nordstrom, Reed, Gustafson, the one with the K,
Knox,
and of
yeah.
course Leathers again on the coach. But Chewy, were there other kind of non-Dublin players you saw in there that caught your eye?
Yeah, so a couple big ones actually from Redwater. Ezra Swift and Drew Jonesy, both on last week's team of the week. Um, they're showing up again. Redwater, we know they were on a pretty good win streak last week. I think they had a couple L's, but ever since trading for Iko Mika Tikkanen, they had been red hot, and it's awesome to see him up there as well. A couple other interesting ones. We got Eric Leclerc, who was traded to San Diego on trade deadline day, and we see his name up there now. Bobby Brownstone, his first appearance, and Josh Young, who's leading goalie stats right now. He's up there with one of the best goalies in the league, right behind him, Mike Twinscrew. I mean, it was a great team of the week. Can't forget Jake Molyneux either on Melbourne. He had a great week on that expansion team as well.
All right, and that brings us to our plays of the week.
All right.
Setting up the borders, and I think you got the first one here.
Yep. So this one, I watched this one live. This was insane. James Bass made a last-minute save here across the crease to bring it into overtime. I think what would have made this save even juicier is if they were able to pull off that win in OT. Unfortunately, they couldn't, but they did pull up the point, which keeps them alive in their playoff race. We'll watch it one more time here. Just a great cross crease save by Bass. That's a goal every time, but not when he's in net. And next we got you up on this one.
Oh, yeah. So we've got GBW. Great team effort here as we're about to see I can't actually see the names, so I'm going to let Chewie kind of shout them out to
Aaron
you.
Hughes with the goal on that one. He really set up the play here. Yeah, I mean, in Glasgow, just a nice passing play to set up Aaron Hughes for the goal.
Just to ring it home. And, shout out to Escola and Scurvy Dog for their submission for this play of the week. Remember that you can reach out to myself or Chewie on Discord with your play of the week, and you have the opportunity to maybe be featured on an upcoming episode.
Yeah. Next, we got Matt Green actually sent in this one for his own goal. A nice slap shot from over the hash to go top shelf. Seeing base and Glasgow, Glasgow on the plays again. This time, unfortunately, going top shelf over the blocker. Matt Green with a goal for the ages here with a nice slap shot.
When I'm hitting the town, I always order top shelf. How about yourself, Chewie?
Oh yeah, the top shelf tequilas on my books.
And next up we've got in the whatever the back of the ice is called, pulling it up, and I'm not sure who that guy is, but I believe they shoot and pass it over to Bear, who comes to that other side and swings it in. I thought that was just a great play to kind of pull forward from one side of the ice to the other, and then to be able to kind of finagle Bear's way, just bear crawling through the trenches to get that goal.
Yeah, that was big heart there. His pressure, and yeah, I love the backhand goals, and he popped off the water bottle for a little bit of salt on the wound at the end there. All right, next up we got another Dublin goal. We got David Leathers here. This was actually a nice move at the end, but we can see Tennessee kind of fumbled the puck twice here for Bear to recover, and makes a couple moves, pass it over Leathers, and then the nice forehand backhand to put it in. And he was tripped at the end there, but a nice goal nonetheless. And we'll watch it run through here one more time for the guys that blinked. And then we'll move over to a nice big goalie save after this. Boom.
Very
Love to
nice.
see that.
And wrapping us out, we've got another one submitted by Scurvy Dog. Twin screw in the goal with the save, the buzzer beater to prevent the game from going into overtime. Fantastic save by Twin Screw.
Yeah, for sure. 0.3 seconds, I think he made that save.
Yes.
To make that upset against Jacksonville.
All right, so let's move on to our interview with Joey Raab.
All right, we'll send it to Joey. What's up, everyone? We got Raab here joining us for the interview today. Raab, how are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. How are you guys?
I'm doing okay. Still recovering from my sickness, but we're plugging along. So, Raab, first question, which we normally ask people, explain your name and why you're Joey Raab, and if it's a real name or an alias.
It is a real name. Joey Raab is my real name.
Cool.
That's about it.
And tell us, how do you know the story of why you're named Joey Raab? The
I know the name. I know why my real name is Joseph. My mom was a big fan of the Broadway musical Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Okay, there we go.
So I got that going for me.
Awesome. Very interesting.
Yeah, my middle name is Joseph as well for the Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Did both your moms go see the play at the same time, or what? Just coincidence?
Apparently.
I think my mom may have read it in the Torah, but it's cool we got that in common. I'm kind of curious, like in goals, what are your roles?
So I play winger for the Jacksonville Vipers. I'm also a co-owner. Myself and Adam Banks, we are the two co-owners of the Vipers. I did some minor coaching for the Ice in the minors last season, and yeah, that's about all I do.
Awesome. Was the coaching for the Ice kind of your stepping stone into co-ownership, or how did you
Absolutely.
choose to be a co-owner at Jacksonville?
So I had reached out to Banks after season 2. I had reached out to Banks and just kind of wanted to know, be more involved in the team, see what I could do to kind of step up. And, he brought me in and made me, I think, an assistant coach, which was great. And I talked to Oni Escola about maybe coaching a minor league team because I wanted to know what that was about and how to go about that. So when he let me be the coach of the Ice, and I'd like to think I did a pretty good job. Unfortunately, fell short from that championship, but I had a blast, and was so proud to see so many of the Ice players getting drafted last season.
Awesome.
Yeah, you certainly put up a great effort last season on the Ice. I'm kind of curious, how do you share ownership responsibilities in Jacksonville? Like, what does it mean to be a co-owner?
There is a lot of disagreements, I will say, but it's good. We're definitely testing each other, trying to figure out, hey, do we want to make a trade? If so, who are some of the players we should look at? In the off season, it's who are we going to lose? Who do we want to re-sign? Who are we looking to draft? Sometimes we butt heads, but it's all worked out so far. And we also have Scurvy Dog kind of in our ears, angel on the shoulder kind of thing, talking us through it. But it's a team effort between myself and Banks. I would say he does more of the heavy lifting.
Awesome. And in terms of like the interactions with the other owners and goals, how would you say you're kind of interacting with them?
Definitely in a friendly and positive way. In the owners chat, it's a lot of fun being able to talk to each team owner, co-owner, assistant coach, head coach, whatever it is. Just being able to chat and just be friendly and positive with everybody. Kind of ribbing each other is a lot of fun too. But
yeah,
I love talking to all of the owners, whether or not you guys just kicked our ass 5-0, or we just beat you guys 5-0. It's always fun, the camaraderie of being a team owner.
Yeah. Would you say like there's kind of one face owner of Jacksonville and one's behind the scenes, or are you guys both, taking the lead on together?
I would probably say Banks is more of the face of the ownership group, whereas he does more of the heavy lifting in terms of ownership. So I would probably say that he's the owner, and I'm just kind of like the owner's assistant in a way.
Assistant to the owner?
The assistant to the owner.
Yeah.
I get a little plaque.
Nice. You made it? Did you make
No.
No? Okay.
I wish. Maybe one of these days.
What do you think makes, as a player through your experience, or, as an owner, co-owner, based again on your experience working with your players, what do you think makes for like a great owner of a team?
Keeping your players active and interacting with your players. I think our clubhouse does a really good job of that. In with myself and Banks being co-owners, and we kind of hype each other up. And if someone has an off game, we're sure to get on them and say, look, it's just a game. It doesn't matter. Move on to the next one. Making sure that the unsung heroes of the team kind of get their due, and whether or not you were the guy who scored 3 goals or had a big block or an assist or whatever it is, we got we make sure to keep all of our players active and happy.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes total sense, especially coming from one of the most active locker rooms in the league. I'd say Jacksonville's is definitely up there. I'll leave this one a little open-ended for you, but goals merchandise. What can you say about that?
I can say that 2 teams have jerseys, myself and Jacksonville being one of them.
Awesome.
Got these made.
Ooh.
We got jerseys for the Vipers and the Alaska Arctic Wolves. My end goal is I want every team to have jerseys. Whether that's, if we're able to get all of the minor teams, that would be a little trickier with a lot of movement. But I would love to see T-shirts. Whether it's just a generic logo T-shirt, maybe a championship T-shirt. Goals merchandise, I am 100% in, and I want to see it.
Nice. So what would the process of a team getting jerseys be? Like, let's say Dublin, I obviously want a jersey. I'm sure Pawtai wants a jersey. If we came to you and said we want jerseys, what's the process? What do we need?
So the process would be to get in contact with me first. I guess to start, you would need a minimum of 10 players to order a jersey. So to start out, it needs to be a minimum of 10. But after that, if you have your 10 players, bring that to me, and I get you in contact with the team sales rep for Verbero Hockey, and kind of pass off to you, pass you off to him, and so you guys would email back and forth and getting team orders set up. Jerseys, I want to say, about $55 US, which I've worn these jerseys on ice. They're tough, they're durable, they definitely stand. They get the Raab stamp of approval.
There we go. Awesome. So it's pretty easy to coordinate then. If any owners or GMs out there wanted to look at getting some jerseys for their team, they just need 10
Absolutely.
players that need a jersey, or 10 jerseys of their own player so they could sell in the black market.
There you go. If you want to do that, you can do that.
All right. Awesome.
So, kind of switching from goals, I've got a question. You, Chewie, and I have something in common. Do you know what that is?
Is Chewie's middle name Joseph?
It's not. No. No.
Shoot. Aside from all of us being dashingly good looking, I would probably say I know that we're all kickers.
Oh.
Yes. We are all kickers in the SFL. I am on the DC Dragons. Raab, you're on the Portland Fleet.
Yes.
And Chewie, I always forget your team.
I'm on the Toros, the Fort Worth Toros.
Fort Worth Toros. Did you join goals before the SFL, or was it the other way around?
I joined goals before the SFL. I didn't join the SFL until probably late fall last year, I think. And it was just I knew that a lot of guys from goals were in that league anyway, so I would watch some of the streams, and it blew my mind at how, like, the production value of it is just, it's incredible, and I didn't realize that it had been around for nearly 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What would you kind of compare your experience in goals to that of the SFL? You've talked about the production value, the length of the experience that's been offered. Are there other things that you'd note that maybe are better or worse? We don't have to. I think we're clearly on the goals side over here, but are there things we can learn from the other league to maybe incorporate into ours?
I definitely think so. I think with goals being so young, just passing a year of existence, and already, we have 16 pro teams, 8 minor teams, like 500 players or something. That's insane. But I definitely think that goals has stuff to learn from the SFL in terms of like the production. If we're able to get, a setup that looks like you're watching, a hockey game on NBC or on ESPN or the NHL Network or something, I think that would just be absolutely incredible. But I think, with them being as old, almost a decade old, and us only being about a year, we got time. We've got time to work on that.
Were you
Yes.
able to catch the, I believe, Jack Hammer? He did a Hammer Jammer production for a few games. Were you able to catch that?
I did not.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I did not.
He was able to, I don't know, I guess, when the game starts, it shows the goalie stats, which is obviously 0-0.
Yeah.
So he was able to have their real in-season goalie stats pull up in place during the game, like season stats of players would pop up and stuff like that. It was really cool.
That's awesome.
It was kind of like bringing season mode into play now. I know there was some
Yeah.
technical difficulties and it was cut short. I think they only played a couple games, but it was pretty cool. I mean, we were able to have the commentators, and they were able to add in stats that we couldn't throw into a play now game.
Yeah,
But,
if we could do something like that, that's incredible. I guess I need to go back and see if I could find something like that.
I'll send you the link, but hopefully he can work out the kinks so we can get some more production games, especially for playoffs. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be killer.
Another SFL question for you here. Deep down, do you want the fleet to fail at scoring touchdowns so you can get more field goals?
Yes and no. I want to be selfish and say yes. But also, I'm in goals and in the SFL. I'm too damn nice. I'm too much of a team player. I want, let's succeed. I'll just kick the extra point.
All right. Well, speaking of team player, just really quick, I know based off the stats, you're up there for goals. You're competing for leading the league this season in goals. And last episode, Scurvy Dog said you're his favorite player to watch on the ice. Do you have any comments on your players' play this season, or anything you kind of any tips you want to give to any of the playmakers or snipers out there to follow the footsteps of the great Joey Raab?
Oh man. Thank you, Scurvy. First off, damn. If you would have told me at the beginning of the season that I was going to be tied for first or tied for second in goals with, Krieg and Grizzle Bear, I just laugh. Like, there's no way. I don't even know how. I checked stats one day and I'm like, oh my God, I have 25 goals. And, I think last season I had 11 maybe. But I guess advice would be for your players, speed is probably the one thing you want to get maxed out first. And then wrist power and accuracy are huge for, being a sniper or even a playmaker. Puck control and hand-eye coordination as well, because you don't want to be, if somebody's feeding you a one-timer, and you don't want to biff that shot. So you need to make sure that, you have a higher hand-eye coordination and puck control so that puck doesn't just fly right off your stick.
Sweet. Yeah, Jacksonville's been a force offensively this year. I think your team's leading the league in goals. You have a bunch of Jacksonville players at the top of the leaderboards. It's great to see for an expansion team to succeed.
It's been awesome watching this group is something special. I think with going into the final week of the season, we are 3 goals away from either tying or breaking the single season goals record, which was set by Vegas in season 2, I think.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that makes me proud. And it's not just it's not like the usual suspects. It's not Banks, it's not Grimes, it's not Mojo. It's every single person, top to bottom, is scoring. Colin Fields putting goals in. Fisherov's putting goals in. Price is having a great season. Cooksy's leading the league in assists.
Wow.
Every single player on Jacksonville is contributing to our success. It's awesome to see. It's awesome to see everything finally come together.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, if you tune into earlier this episode, you'll see Cody or Thiel and Liam Cody are definitely up there in rookie points, tied or very close to top of the rookies scoring. So that's awesome.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
So we have a couple questions we ask everyone while closing out. So kind of first off, if you had like this crystal ball and you could look into there and see the future, and it could be to your heart's content, or it could be based on like what you see's occurring in the league right now. Where do you see goals 5 years from now?
Where do I see goals? Hopefully, hopefully it has the same group of people, the same core. Going back to the owners' questions, I love interacting with everybody, not just owners, but every player in the league. So I love that it's a nice community, but I would love to see maybe another expansion down the line. Maybe 5 years from now we can have a 30 team or 32 team goal season. Lengthen that out. I know that scheduling is a pain in the ass to do. With the 16 teams and 5 streaming days right now, but I would absolutely love to see, and maybe branch out from Twitch and do some YouTube live or something else like that. I think that would be pretty awesome to see, and the production. If Jackhammer is able to do something like that again, I think 5 years from now that would be pretty awesome to watch. 30 potential teams in goals on YouTube or on Twitch. I think that would be awesome.
Awesome. Before we close things out, one final question. Do you have any shout outs or anyone you'd like to mention before we close out here?
Everybody on Jacksonville, everybody in goals that I've interacted with and had fun playing Fall Guys or Among Us. I don't really have any specific player shout outs. Just everybody in this league is making this league what it is. And I love to be a part of it, and I'm grateful that I was brought in, and I'm grateful to see and interact with all of you guys, and grateful to be on this podcast. So thank you, both of you, for having me. This was awesome. But just shout out to everybody in goals for being here, doing what you're doing, and sticking with it.
Awesome. Yeah, we didn't mention that, but you've hosted a few games nights for the league. Among Us, I've taken part. That's been fun. Hopefully we can host some more, and we'll definitely have to have you on again, maybe in future seasons, because this was awesome. Thanks so much, Raab.
I would love that. Thank you, guys.
All right. Have a good one, buddy.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right. Hey, thanks so much for joining us on Rinkside in our 5th and fulsomest episode today. Want to thank you for watching. Hope you go down there. Oh, looks like my screen is mirrored. So you're going to go over here and you're going to click that.
There.
Yeah. You're going to click that subscribe button. Get us to 75 is our goal for this episode. And Chewie, you got any closing words, thoughts?
Nope. Again, thanks for everyone for watching. And we love the feedback as well. I know a couple people DM me after every episode. Please send the feedback. It helps us make better content. I know one thing I'm going to get is make sure that the minors' standings are updated, not from 4 weeks ago. So I've already got